They say they're fighting for justice. Students flood campuses, waving flags, screaming about freedom and human rights. But ask them, whose freedom? Whose rights? They're not speaking for all people. They're not fighting against oppression in all its forms. They're fixated on one cause, one narrative, and they're loudest when it serves their ideology, not humanity. They claim to care about Gaza, but they never march for the women abused under Hamas rule. They scream about injustice, but never speak a word when Hamas uses children as human shields. They chant about freedom, yet stand in support of a regime that would silence them the minute they spoke freely on its land. This isn't compassion. This isn't justice. This is theater. And behind the performance lies something far more dangerous. They are not misguided. They are not naive. They are the fifth column. They blend in. They study at elite universities. They speak the language of equality and liberty. But their hearts beat for ideologies that hate both. They benefit from America, but curse it in every breath. They enjoy its freedoms, but dream of dismantling them. They speak of peace, yet glorify those who thrive on war. So here's the truth. They are not victims. They are not freedom fighters. They are not misunderstood. They are the fifth column. And while we sleep, they infiltrate. While we debate, they organize. While we show tolerance, they plant hatred. So ask yourself, what happens when the fifth column grows stronger than the foundation itself? When the enemy no longer knocks at your door because he's already inside the house? This is not just a war of bullets. This is a war of minds, of loyalties, of truth versus deception. The time for silence is over. If we don't expose them, if we don't call them what they are, then we become complicit in our own collapse. Because a nation that protects its enemies while punishing its defenders is not a nation at all. It's a ticking time bomb.
University student is arrested by ICE.
Tonight, Mohsen Madawi is in custody of the Department of Homeland Security.
Fox 5's Richard Giacobis outside Columbia tonight as reaction to his arrest grows louder by the day. Richard.
It certainly does, Stephen. Natasha, it was 1 year ago this month inside those very gates that Columbia University transformed into a protest campground with encampments and students seizing buildings. And 1 year later, the Trump administration says it's doing everything in its power to crack down and deport any student it says was involved in a rise in anti-Semitism.
Release Mohsen Madawi now!
This was the scene in Foley Square earlier today, calling for Columbia University student Mohsen Madawi to be released from federal custody. The protesters saying the arrest of Madawi is illegal, despite immigration authorities claiming he helped organize protests on campus at Columbia last year. Now to video of Madawi being let out in handcuffs by ICE agents from what he thought would be a naturalization interview in Vermont. This was yesterday, another step toward becoming a U.S. citizen. But after disappearing for hours, Madawi's family became concerned, and his lawyers found out he was detained and arrested at an immigration center. His attorneys filing a petition believing the Trump administration is looking to remove Madawi from the United States. Madawi has been an outspoken critic of Israel's campaign in Gaza, military campaign in Gaza, organizing student protests at Columbia and co-founding a pro-Palestinian group with Mahmoud Khalil, another student who was arrested and detained by ICE agents. Protesters who are against this latest arrest say they won't stand for it.
We heard Marco Rubio sort of bragging about revoking student visas. So, they've made their position clear. They've made it clear that they want to continue to attack our movement, just as we've made it clear that we won't back down. We're going to continue to defend our fellow activists, defend everyone who has been out here in the streets in defense of the Palestinian people.
Madawi has not been charged with a crime. He is a legal U.S. resident, a green card holder since 2014. He was supposed to graduate from Columbia in just a few weeks, but his legal team says right now they're fighting to keep him in Vermont. So far, a federal judge says he will comply with that request, at least for now. We're live in Morningside Heights tonight. Richard Giacobbe.